Hey everybody, welcome to the Circuit Horde. We're playing Lunacid today, which is a game created by I think it's Kira Productions. They made a game a while back. I think it was Spooky's Horror Mansion. I don't know if do you know that game, Kevin?
I do. I'm familiar with it. I haven't
Uh,
played it,
I have
but
not played it
I
either.
like I recognize it.
I know that one was popular. So you might if you don't know about Lunacid, you might know about that creator from that game. Um, this is a game that was inspired by older FromSoft games, such as like Kingsfield and stuff like that. We might play those later on the channel, but at the moment we are just gonna start with Lunacid. It's more of a newer iteration in this kind of game style.
Zach is playing, by the way. I'm not playing. He's far more familiar with the FromSoft style of games than I am. Which I understand that this is what this is like.
Yeah.
FromSoft.
I'm actually playing this one on keyboard and mouse, though, not controller. Um, Unsure at the moment.
I gotta say, so far I like the art style. I'm kind of a sucker for retro 3D graphics,
I was gonna.
especially like Nintendo 64 and PlayStation
Oh, I think we're gonna
1
get dialogue here shortly.
style stuff.
Long ago, a great beast came from the sea and brought with it a poisonous fog that spread across the earth. Corrupting everything it reached, the poison fog slowly transformed the world and brought about a new age. Now, grounded by the poison sky and outnumbered by creatures, humankind became desperate and formed feudal kingdoms. Closed off from each other, they became paranoid and are on the brink of extinction. Those deemed undesirable, such as criminals or the ill, are cast out, banished into the depths of the Great Well, a pit of the diseased undead. The Great Well is said to have but one door to the surface.
Interesting.
I didn't want to interrupt because there was gonna be dialogue, but I am unsure
Yeah.
of because I'm playing this on keyboard and mouse instead of controller because I'm not too familiar with the controller controls for this. I'm more familiar with the keyboard and mouse. I'm not sure if when we do play Kingsfield, if I'm going to be using something to interpret keyboard and mouse controls over controller, but like that would be if we're doing emulator. If we're not doing emulator, then we'll probably just play default controls. But the default controls for older Kingsfield games are they get quite some getting used to. Are you familiar with? Have I talked to you about the controls for that game before, Kevin?
You have not.
So for if you like, imagine a controller, right? So up and down on the D-pad is backwards and forwards. Left and right are look left and right, and then on the trigger buttons, the not the triggers, but the shoulder buttons, I should say. Those buttons are move left and right, and then the left trigger is look down, and right triggers look up, and I don't know. I could never get used to. I could never get used to that control style. Something cool that this game does.
How
Sorry?
how old is that game?
Kingsfield.
Kingsfield.
I am unsure here. I can, it's probably older than I am. The first one was released in Japan. It was not released in the United States. Kingsfield 2 in Japan is Kingsfield 1 in the US. But Kingsfield 1, the Japanese release, was released in 1994 for the PS1.
Gotcha.
But something cool that this game does, we probably won't take advantage of it because we'd have to restart the game and everything. But you can use external images for your character portrait. So you could put fucking anything you want. We could put some super cursed shit. But we got all of these different character pictures for us to use. They don't have the portraits have no bearing on like the game itself. They're just there for like cosmetic reasons. For classes,
yeah,
I am not too familiar with the difference between the classes, although I do know that the vampire has a couple of items that work only with them. And I haven't played a vampire before, so I think we're gonna go with vampire. And it gives us some story dialogue for our character. Bloodthirsty creature of the night. Awakened by hunger, they are replenished by the shedding of blood, but weakened from fire. And so, FUC, we take regular slashing damage, I'm assuming, 50% more fire damage. I'm not sure what the blue is. I want to say it's electricity. We take 25% less electricity damage, 50% less poison.
I think the yellow.
I want to say that's holy. We take 100% more holy damage.
Oh, okay.
And then we take 75%.
It looks like it has lightning bolts in it.
We take 75% less necrotic or death damage, whichever one. So from the opening cutscene, our character is holding on to the cart of dead bodies that they're dumping in the well, or not dead bodies because we're still alive. And the guy chopped off her hand. Something that is unclear to me that I've heard discussion regarding is in that opening cutscene you saw the hand move. I've heard from others that we're just the hand. That this game
so
in this game
this area.
Yes.
This area completely like it's just so reminiscent of Daggerfall.
I have not played
like,
Daggerfall.
Not even kidding.
Is that one of the Elder Scrolls games? I believe.
Yep.
I wanted
to say the second.
Hoping and praying that I was not incorrect on that, because that would have been like, no, you idiot, it's not. And so we got our first weapon, which is the replica sword.
So you're playing as the hand right now.
If you see, there's just the severed hand.
There's just the hand.
The thing is we have the character portrait, so I want to say my headcanon, probably not like what's actually going on, is that we're playing as that character, and our hand is severed but still floating in front of us. But I have heard that we are just the hand, so I wanted to talk about that because I thought it was pretty funny. It's kind of goofy. But anyway, we got your...
One thing I also noticed.
Yeah.
The character creator screen also had pronouns.
They added that...
I can't do. I was referencing something.
They added that in, I think the version 1.0 update, and it pissed a lot of people off, and it's like, bro, why do you even fucking care? You don't have to fucking interact with it if you don't want to. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
I was referencing...
some people like it, some people
this
don't.
One guy who got...
Just play the fucking game, man.
Yeah, this this one guy got really mad at Starfield for adding pronouns.
It was
and,
about
like,
the same response.
His rant.
I think I remember seeing that rant got super popular.
Yeah,
not popular, but it became a meme.
That's what I was referencing when I said pronouns.
I mean, like, it's part of a character creator. It's not you. It's your fucking character.
Well,
if you want to play as a character that has fucking they them pronouns or she her or he him, go for it.
Well, it would make sense in a dialogue system when characters are referring to you.
Yeah.
Like,
the funny thing is
if there wasn't a dialogue system, I'd be like, okay, there's like kind of no reason to put it in, but
from what I've heard,
whatever.
There is one dialogue in the ending of the game that uses it, so it's not used too much, but it's there. It's there at the very end, which might be I don't know how many episodes it is. I forget how long this game is. This is the first longer series that we're doing. All of the other ones we're doing really short games.
Yeah.
This is the first series that we're doing that has a much longer game that's gonna probably take us a couple sessions. I don't think we'll get through this in one sitting, but we'll see. If you notice from the snails, because the snails are one of the first enemies that we encounter, this game has dismemberment. And so what I was doing is, when I was attacking their face, it was severing their eye stalks, which is kind of horrifying. Alright, so we got some mana vials and a health vial. I'm gonna put those on my bar. Okay, so...
and they're not just any kind of snails. They're milk snails.
Milk snails, yes. I needed to check real quick regarding my items in the top there. Pressing 1 switches between my items and 2 is use. I accidentally used a health potion. Trying to figure out what the button was to swap. But I'll keep that in mind for future. One thing that I did notice, because I'm playing as a vampire, is that I have some health steal from these enemies, which is nice. Not sure how much of a... I'm not sure if that's gonna be balanced by other shit later on that I have yet to encounter, but we'll see.
Do you get, like, shulker boxes from these guys?
Do I get what?
Or is that a different game? I can't remember. Do you get shulker boxes from those guys, or is that a different game?
Not in this game. There's a spin-off title. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. But, I believe it was called Minecraft. Minecraft has shulkers as well. They don't really stay true to the character model in this game, but, I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I can't...
So when the game booted up...
yeah.
I saw the Unity logo. Now, we don't talk about Unity anymore.
Fucking Unity.
Yeah, that's a big F for this game.
If you see it underneath...
Unity, which, I mean, whatever.
So on the left side, we got my health bar, my mana bar, and my items currently equipped. On the right side, there's the 2 empty circles. Those are spells, but I currently don't have any. There's the green bar, which is a charge swing, and then the bar below it, I believe, is my weapon. No, that must be my experience. There is also weapon experience in the game. Okay, so weapon XP is shown here. And then I believe my character XP is in the top right there, probably. So this is the first character we meet. Well, you look a little lost. This area is called Hollow Basin. It is the highest reached point of the Great Well. It's also one of the safest areas of the Great Well, except, of course, Wing's Rest. Speaking of Wing's Rest, I can spirit you there if you want. Not quite yet. Righty, well, I'm here if you ever need to get there. I wanted to open a shortcut real quick because, when you warp to different areas in this game, you warp to the crystals. The one that we saw towards the beginning here. And if I didn't open up that shortcut, I would have had to go back through that whole area to get through that, to get that shortcut again. And I want to just grab that shortcut before I interact with Demi over here. All right.
I don't know if it's due to the video compression that I'm watching through Discord, but her model looks just a little bit out of place for this game.
We'll see on other character models as we're going to the hub area. Hiya, wanna go to Wing's Rest? Yes, gotcha. One moment. I also thought the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. Her character model seems off even compared to like the other character models too. If it makes any sense, it seems like her character model is
Like
a lot
the skeleton.
is a lot more
The
like
skeleton just sitting there.
it's a lot more detailed than a lot of the other characters here. Oh, there's
I didn't even see it move. I just thought it was a dead skeleton, just like sitting upright.
Yeah, no, he's actually alive. People call me Clive. That's not really my name. I seem to have lost it. My memory isn't quite what it used to be. But my bones is good. I stay young by drinking these little health tonics. Here, why don't you take some? You look a little mealy. Be careful a wander in the depths. Not everything out there is as peachy as a skeleton. And over here, we have Etna. Salutations, Outlander. Welcome to the depths. I am Etna. I study the sacred art of alchemy down here. If you happen on any materials during your journey, you should bring them to me. Want to do some alchemy? I am not very familiar with this, but you kind of just figure out alchemy recipes by experimenting, by putting random items together in these three, and then we don't have it. Oh, it's right here. So we'll unlock. It'll show us the crafting recipes for these once we have discovered them for ourselves. This is a what am I thinking of? A statue of the moon. And this is where the forge where we upgrade our weapon, but we have not reached the end of its weapon XP bar.
Kind of missed opportunity to have Clive drink milk.
True. We'll talk to the
instead
bird
of health potions.
Right. It's good for you. I remember getting up here when I had a much
Maybe he's
higher...
lactose intolerant.
He might be. You know, that's something that some people don't
Like
consider.
me,
Lactose
I'm intolerant.
What about the fucking lactose intolerant skeletons out there? You gotta be respectful. There might the thing is there might be a skeleton that has a fucking health potion allergy. You don't know. Anyway, this is the merchant. Oh, what a mess you've been caught up in. Welcome to the depths, outsider. Escape to the outworld has long been a myth. Ha ha ha. But if you're going to explore, why not prepare yourself? Fancy a new trinket, perhaps? We're gonna immediately buy the enchanted key because that's used to progress. We have no fucking money, so that's all we can buy at the moment. So we do alchemy with Etna. There's Clive that we can hang out and talk to, and then there's Cheryl LaCroix? Cheryl LaCroix. And then we got Demi. I don't think she has a shop role that you can interact with, or like a interfaced to help with like your journey. I think she's just kind of a character that you talk to here, like Clive. Although they're long gone, their protective magic still lingers. Take your time and relax here. If you want to head back out, use the crystal where you came in.
Cheryl the Crow. Cheryl sounds like a retail coworker name, like someone you work with at a retail store.
That's true. We're gonna increase our base attack a squidge. We don't have many levels to work with. I'm gonna go with just upgrading my strength to a little over 15. Oh, we can't check our stats there. Where can I? That's unfortunate. You can't check what your stats are, like what your stats do, unless you're in the level up menu, which you can't do unless you have enough stats. So this is the teleport screen. We're gonna go Hollow Basin.
Back to the Daggerfall area. This is a lot more. Let's see.
We'll keep this in mind.
This is a lot more intricate than the Daggerfall starting area.
I'll see for myself when we play that. I haven't played it myself, so I assume that when we get to that, I will be the one playing. I have a question. I set the volume a tad too high.
Yeah.
If I adjust the volume, that would probably be a problem with the recording, right? Or is that?
Well, I can barely hear the game.
You can barely hear the game.
So, I would just keep it as it is.
I was gonna do the Windows setting where you can change the what you hear. I don't know if that would change it for you though, so maybe it's not the best idea either.
Yeah, I can hear it a little bit better now, I think.
Oh, I did not.
Just a little bit.
I didn't actually change anything. Okay. It's a placebo.
Okay,
I'm fuck.
That door's. That door opening sound effect was just really loud, I guess.
It is. How do I swap my weapon again? More? Do I have a game? Oh, the game handle's right here.
Oh, that's cool.
Swap quick items. Swap weapon is Q. Okay. Torch gang. From playing a little bit of this game, I remember the early game, the torch is really fucking nice, to be honest. I'm gonna keep the key on my hotbar so I can not accidentally use my health potions when I don't fucking want to. Because I accidentally hit one sometimes during my personal playthroughs of this game. I accidentally hit one occasionally, and it would be like, I did not mean to hit that, and I wasted really rare resource. Anyway, we descend.
Yeah, this is still like Daggerfall, where like Daggerfall you start out in a cave and then like you go into a dungeon. Sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Daggerfall's really cool. It's a really cool RPG, but it's also
what
like
style
really
is
dated at the same
Is
time.
it like is it turn-based, first person?
What style?
Oh yeah, what style? Kind of style is it? Because I remember you said one of the Elder Scrolls games was more. It felt more turn-based.
Well, okay, so every game before Oblivion, which is Arena, Daggerfall, and Morrowind, they're still like action oriented, but they also take like misses into account. So like you can swing your sword or whatever directly at an enemy, and it won't connect because you technically missed. Which is like really from somebody who primarily played Oblivion and Skyrim, that it it's really hard for me to adjust to that. So it's not turn-based, but it has like those elements that you would see in a turn-based combat system. Yeah. Like missing and stuff like that. Because of that, I consider Daggerfall and like Morrowind to be much harder because like they're harder in a good way because there's more like elements to account for versus Oblivion and Skyrim are just more like the progression's a lot more linear, but in Daggerfall if you get like a sword made out of a certain material, it can damage some creatures but not other creatures, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I don't know if this is the way it is, but like silver can only kill or damage like a vampire or werewolf or something like that. Versus in Oblivion and Skyrim, that's not the case. The progression, like, once you pick up, like, if you're rocking like a steel sword and then you find an orcish sword, there's no reason to really keep that steel sword. Like, oh, I found an orcish sword. That's better. So, yeah. In terms of like role playing, Daggerfall and Morrowind are just so much better than Oblivion and Skyrim, but I still prefer playing Oblivion and Skyrim just because the combat is, from an action oriented standpoint, is just a lot more fun. Just in my opinion. That's my opinion. I know people will completely disagree with me on that point because like when it comes to like old versus new, the Elder Scrolls like community is like very picky about
they
their
favor
games and what they view as like good and bad.
They favor different types of the games and they're very protective of that.
Like there's an ongoing meme where like Morrowind players call Skyrim fans sky babies.
I forgot to equip it earlier, but before we met Demi, we got a fire spell. You have to charge it up, and as you see in the top right there. We also picked up. Where is it? We also picked up a lithomancy spell. Oh, there's text for these. Fire is a flaming javelin, a weaponized form of pyromancy created by the fire witch Ashley. Ghost light summons a spectral orb of light that follows the caster for 60 seconds, useful for illuminating the depths of the well. Lithomancy, a forbidden blood magic that gives life to the inanimate. Unable to comprehend existence, the objects only scream, created by a mad wizard Abdul before his exile. It is unknown what the purpose of this spell was. This spell does nothing. If I remember correctly. This spell is also a blood spell, if you see on the top right, which I believe, if I recall correctly, means it uses blood, your health bar instead of mana. Except for that spell does nothing, so we're not going to use it, because it'll just kill me. With no other benefit. Oh. Read. It appears the brain was removed, but the wounds were inflicted within the skull itself. It looks like the brain carved its own way out. If you look closer, there's a giant hole where the face is. So something about this game.
That's metal AF.
So we came from that direction. I want to check over here first. I think this is the way that it expects you to go. I fucking hate the mummies in this game, because enemies that, like, do a slow attack speed, like, an attack that, like, has a little bit of a delay to it, those are the fucking bane of my existence in, like, any game, because I'm like, oh, alright, I dodged it, but their attack is so slow that I dodge and then go back in line and get fucking hit by it still. Too fucking often does that happen to me. Okay, so the health regen for the vampire. Upon inspection of my health bar right now, it appears as it's not a immediate health regen, but you get, like, an indication of what your health bar can regen to. And so my health bar is going to slowly regen to full, but it's going to take a second, it looks like, because that is slow as fuck. So
That's
one thing
really
that I
cool.
wanted to note
I like that.
is that this game, similar to Kingsfield and Dark Souls, a lot of the FromSoft games, it has illusory walls. And if you notice in the bottom left there, whenever you find a hidden wall, there's a question mark, and you press E, and it opens it up.
Interesting. Wow.
I don't know where all the hidden walls are. I will try to find at least some of them. This is one that I knew off the bat because I remember finding it while exploring the early game during my personal playthrough. Oh, that is more range than I thought. And I'm fucking poisoned. That's amazing. Please tell me that the fucking poison wears off on its own. Okay, it does. It does. It does. We're good. We're solid.
Oof.
There is also a system where enemies have a chance to drop, like, really rare items sometimes. I believe those mummies that are carrying the, that one giant greatsword, that is a rare drop. The milk snails in the Daggerfall area, those also drop a summon that allow you to summon a snail to help you in combat. They are not very strong.
Nice.
I think it's more of a, like, haha, you can summon a snail.
The snail
sort of
cannot
deal.
be killed. If it touches you, you die.
Alright, let's see.
But you get $1 billion.
Doll hairs. Okay, we got a wooden shield. I don't believe... You cannot dual wield in this game, so you would swap between the shield and the sword manually. I am getting hit by all of your attacks. Fuck. Stand back and heal for a sec. This game also does not have. It's more in line with Kingsfield and Demon Souls in that there is a limited healing resource. There is not a Estus Flask that restores when you rest. Long ago, I heard tales of Abdul and his temple, how they managed to reach enlightenment and escape. But they're still here. Or at least their bodies are. Goodbye, Clive's brother. So keep this in mind that the monks escaped and that their bodies are still here, because I do believe that comes up later. How far later? I don't know when we'll be able to reach the area that that comes up again, but we'll see. One thing that I find funny about this game is that when you're moving, there's like a little bit of sway. I think. I thought I remembered that being the case. Yeah, there's a little bit.
Sway to like your.
I think it's more
like your sword.
The screen. There's a bit of screen sway. I thought I remembered. It might be more visible when you have a faster movement speed, because I am still fairly slow right now. You get to move very fast in later game. It could also be I'm not moving fast enough for it to show up very effectively. But I see a tiny bit of sway that's not too evident.
Cause this is mommy.
Fuck.
Mommy night. Do 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 do.
Also, in the top right there, you can see the moon phase.
Yep.
If it's full moon, your spells do more damage, but you take more damage. I don't know if it's... I don't recall if this is full moon that we're on right now, or if there like it has like an additional like stage of the icon where it's like the full moon with maybe like a ring around it or some shit. I believe we're in full moon right now. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
Blood wine acquired. So this is the item that I know is exclusive to vampires. Wine made from fermented blood, a delicacy in aristocrats and vampiric circles. Restore one's blood and health if vampire, otherwise it's poisonous. So we are allowed to drink that without fucking dying. Oh fuck, I remembered what's in this area. I might swap back to my torch, because I like being able to set these bastards on fire, because otherwise they're kind of annoying to deal with. At least for early game, they're... fuck. They're fairly tanky in the early game. But if you set them on fire, their health bar depletes pretty quickly. I remember you said early on that you liked the art style. What are your thoughts? Are your thoughts now that you've seen a little bit of the gameplay?
Well, to be honest, the Discord video compression is really bad.
Oh no.
But I mean, I can still tell what's going on. But
you can tell what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I can see what's happening. But like the finer details are like
a little lost on you.
Blurred out. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a really big fan of especially Nintendo 64 like visual style. Like I've studied it quite a bit. I know how to replicate a bunch of Nintendo 64 style stuff and at least Godot shaders for like the Godot engine. Which, by the way, I'm a fan of. I like the Godot engine. I've never been a really big fan of the Unity engine. And yeah. Yeah. Is it Godot or is it Godot? Who knows? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
But yeah, I am very, very gradually and slowly working on my own games in Godot.
Okay, so the one you saw is,
one of them I would like to be in one of them I would like to be in like a Nintendo 64 style. This is more PlayStation.
Which would make sense,
even though it's
'cause,
missing some PlayStation effects.
like I said before, this game is inspired by Kingsfield, which was a series for like the PlayStation. I believe the later entries were on the PlayStation 2. I am getting hit very hard.
Yeah, so yeah, just based on the textures, like, so the textures use nearest or closest filtering, which means they're pixelated, versus the Nintendo 64 had its like own special trilinear filtering, which is why Nintendo 64 games look blurry. One of the reasons why.
Because isn't it like
It's weird.
I recall when
Go ahead.
the PC, like there's the PC ports of Mario 64. Aren't those like they use the game, but it because it's on a newer thing, isn't it like higher quality, or were those mods that I was seeing?
Well, those are mods.
Those are
I
mods.
mean,
Okay.
you can still yeah, you can still emulate the special Nintendo 64 trilinear filtering on a PC. It just requires like a bit more work because it's really weird. But the thing is that the special N64 filtering versus like a typical PC like linear filtering, it's almost indistinguishable. Like if you look real close, you can tell the difference. But the one thing that is missing from this game in terms of like PlayStation authenticity is I can't remember the exact name for it, but there is like the PlayStation was limited on like it was more so limited than the Nintendo 64 in its floating point precision. So what would happen is that the models, like the vertices in the model would like snap. I don't know if I'm like explaining it very well, but like let's say there's a
trying to keep
3D
up with you.
model on a PlayStation that's it's rotating. But like it looks like points on the model are snapping to places. If that makes sense, like snapping
I
to
understand what you
locations
mean.
rather
Yeah.
than it like smoothly rotating.
Oh, well, like
And
when
I
it's
can't
moving
remember
around like this, it's more
I
smooth.
can't remember the exact name for it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's missing from this game, but I can understand why they don't add it because it's like I can see
That's a
where
level of
people would like
authenticity
heavily
for
dislike that.
making it seem like it's that kind of game. They would be like a little too far. You mean? Is that what you mean for like a?
Yeah. Yeah, like it's kind of unnecessary unless somebody like really wants to make it look like an early PlayStation game, but whatever. The other thing is that this game uses like pretty much entirely textures, like bitmap textures, versus the Nintendo 64. A lot of its graphics depended on vertex coloring because texture space was very limited. Like texture memory and stuff was very, very limited on the Nintendo 64 versus on the PlayStation. Textures were very abundant. So, like, for example, when you take a look at most of the character models in Super Mario 64, they're almost entirely made up of vertex coloring, which is why, like, you don't see finer details in their model. Like Mario's eyes, for example, those are textures, but his hat, like his skin color and his clothes are all vertex coloring. Anyway, yeah. There's a little bit of like my I don't run a YouTube channel called computer graphics for nothing. Let's just say that. I love computer graphics. So yeah. It's just really interesting because when you compare like a PlayStation 4 game to an Xbox One game, they can look like nearly identical. But when you compare competitors from like the 5th generation of consoles and before, it's just like the PlayStation looks so different from the Nintendo 64. Or the Super Nintendo looks and sounds so different from the Sega Genesis.
Anyway, I have no idea how to do these quests. VHS tape acquired.
Whoa. VHS tape.
You're in the know, right? So this game, if you remember correctly, it took place in modern times, but there was the serpent that brought a great fucking like apocalypse upon the land. So yeah, VHS
Gotcha.
tapes like it's not. This isn't like a medieval setting. This is a post-apocalyptic medieval setting.
Interesting. So did the serpent create like these catacombs and stuff, or were these here?
Well, no. If you remember from the beginning, there was like all of like the modern houses and stuff, and then it brought the plague upon the land, and then it said that the people of the land started a like feudal kingdoms and stuff to try to survive.
Oh.
So this would probably be like an old decrepit
Gotcha.
sewer system from before the serpent caused a bunch of bullshit. I always forget that this is like future-esque kind of setting, not like future post-apocalyptic and not a medieval setting, because it is playing like a medieval game. There's not really the...
Well, I hate to break it to you, but that VHS tape is probably going to be unplayable. Because it was in a sewer.
Yeah.
And there's probably mold growing on it and stuff.
The intactness of what's contained on it is probably been destroyed by now. But, I mean, we can hope for the best, you know? So this has max XP currently. Our torch is also max XP. I'm going to swap onto the stone club for my other one. I'm going to keep the torch because it's nice for burning some of these like zombies. Okay, so the ritual dagger does not level up.
I have a massive stockpile.
Of what? Oh, VHS tapes.
I have a massive stockpile of VHS tapes. Yeah, and I'm currently converting all of them to digital, and about 10% of them have mold growing on them.
And
so
they're unplayable?
I don't know if they're playable or not. I don't know, they might be playable, but I'm too afraid to stick them into my, like, the VHS player, VCR player I have that I convert with, is worth about $1,000, and I don't want to risk,
Yeah.
I don't want to risk, like, contaminating it.
So if you noticed, when I was in my
The
inventory
lighting
here,
in this game's cool.
yeah, I love it. If you notice when I was in my inventory looking through my different weapons, some weapons have a XP bar, some do not. The ones that have an XP bar are still able to be upgraded further. If they do not have the XP bar, that's their final stage, like of upgrade. So some weapons, you get them, they don't have any upgrades, but some of them you need to put some work in with and beat up some enemies. We're gonna get a chance to level up here finally, because I did that entire dungeon without a single level up. Yeehaw. Save. Level up. Fuck. I have 33 level up points. Alright, we're gonna be here for a sec. So we're gonna boost up our movement speed a lot. I'm gonna boost up to 15. Our defense only upgrades our health bar. I'm gonna upgrade our dexterity so we can jump a bit higher too. That's all it does, it looks like. Yeah, I'll boost up to 5. Intelligence would be our mana that's available to us. Although, what else is upgrading our mana? Okay. Gonna boost that up to 17. And I'll use the remaining 2 in mana. Looking good. So we have an extra node unlocked on our warp menu. How much money we got? Did it say? I think I have to be in a shop. Sorry to wake you up. I wasn't asleep, I was... Fancy new trinket. So, we can buy either a crossbow, yeah, a rapier with the guard removed. Okay, I remember not being a big fan of the rapiers. Our friend Devin also played this game, and I think I recall him saying that they were really nice for backstepping, for the backstep in the bottom right there. I think they changed that, though, with the 1.0 release. I'm not sure how good the backstep is anymore. I do know that we want maybe like 2 mana vials, 2 health vials, just to keep stocked up on that. I'm gonna buy an antidote because sometimes we get poisoned. I don't want to get randomly poisoned out in the world and not have a fucking antidote ready. And we're gonna go upgrade our torch. So now we have an iron torch. And the iron torch cannot be upgraded, as seen by the lack of a XP bar. Then we got the heritage sword, which is the upgraded version of the replica sword. That can also not be upgraded. Alright. I think that's about an hour. So I think we'll call this episode here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yep. Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
sounds good to me.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. We'll continue exploring the Great Well in the next episode. Have a wonderful night, or morning, or afternoon.
Yep. Thanks for watching. See ya.